would be perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not. I didn't want it to be a 3-song thing.
3 songs, $30.
Yeah, like some kind of expensive. I want people to think they're at least getting their money's worth and charge less than $1 per song. But
excellent.
We'll see how it all goes with iTunes and Amazon. There's lots of ins and outs there.
Yeah, definitely. Now, so are you going to do any more shows before then? I know you're part of a very popular band around here called Trout Smith.
Yeah, actually, Isaac and I, Isaac Trout, the other half of the duo, the dynamic type, one each, have been kind of laying low. He's a huge hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And
this season's hard.
Yeah, and he's out, man. He's in the bush. You know what I mean? And I think that's awesome. We play. I don't want to sound pompous, but when we want to, it's like, and we have been blessed with some awesome opportunities. We love to do it, but it's all about being fun. We're and running ourselves into the ground when. I'm working on this album, and
he's working with twin children.
He's got 2 year-old boys, twins, and I mean, the man has stuff happening. So when it fits, we do it. The big time constraint sometimes, though, is getting the ability to practice a little bit before the show.
Yeah, it's hard to go and just dry.
Because we'll go a couple months without playing a gig or even playing together, and then. So we like to practice a couple, 3 times, before we go do a 3-hour set somewhere. But at this point, it's, most of what we're doing is just pretty well memorized. Although, as we continue to write, we like to throw new songs in. It's like, especially for, most of the people around here have been out to see us a couple times. We want to make it new.
Yeah.
It's like keep it fresh instead of knocking out the same.
Well, the last time I went and saw you, I liked how you guys did a few songs together. Then Isaac went solo for a little while, and you went solo for a little while, and then you kind of came back together, played a couple songs.
Yeah,
that's especially if you got new stuff coming out. Always a good way to keep it pretty fresh.
For sure, and it's like I said, it's not it's no big budget, Rose Garden show, but we do like to kind of, number one, come up with a way to. It's not just. 2 of us standing there belting them out for 3 hours. And so we just kind of pick the songs that we have that we think would sound better, or the way maybe we pictured when we wrote them, is just the guy on the guitar. Nobody trying to do any lead or good rhythm or backup vocals or anything. It's just kind of an introspective, on the set list we call it a showcase. Just to go, let's take it down a notch and slow everybody down a little bit. And I usually do a Let It Be in that, which I think it's fun. It's music is emotional, and especially when you're at a bar or something. Not everybody's paying attention. It's not like when you go to a show that you just paid $75 for. You're like locked on the band. There's really nothing, you know what I mean? But a bar is such a social place, and it's fun to play a song and you kind of just see people go, what is he doing? He's doing, oh my God. And that's where you get that feedback. And so, we try to, I think, some of the, the sadder songs, the slower songs, I just think connect with people more. In the military, I was stationed right north of Nashville. And you go to the bar, man, and there'd be an awesome band there playing Sweet Home Alabama, and the number of the top 20 from whatever, and the old country songs that everybody's gonna get fired up over, And to me, it was just like, well, it's fine. There's always a different crowd in there every night, pretty much, unless the crew I used to run around with were there every weekend. But you never get tired of those songs, and they are emotional in their own way. But every once in a while, they crank out one of those slow songs or something where you get to the dancing and stuff. Few and far between. And we weeded a couple of the slower ones out too, because not only are they're easier to do, as a solo or a duo, but just because we didn't want to make it, 30 slow songs. So, but I think they do have a place. They're important to have too, and I think that's where a lot of the emotion tends to to come from. You know, people relate to a song that's slow and they can understand it. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's just great. It gets into your
exactly.
soul a little slower.
Especially if you can capture them after about 2 beers. And everybody's just got to that point where the beer's starting to get a little emotional on them, and then you can strike them out of left field.
That's right. The first set.
Here comes Let It Be.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Everybody's just got buzzed up. You know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, totally true. The first set's tough. Everybody's critiquing. After that, you try to get them, you know, everybody motivated to start drinking whiskey and stuff, and then you could sit out there and do jazz flute. I love you, man. I love you.
Yeah.
You know?
The second half of the show's always got more fan appreciation.
Yeah, exactly. And then we lay it on, you know, we try to put the, you know, like any band, you know, go out on big ones and the fun ones.
What's your favorite song to close with?
You know, it's still Badlands. I think, you know, the last game, like I said, we did a kind of just an open riff at the end. Just we don't really know, you know. We all, a lot of times him and I get together and play. We just riff.
I've been there. Seen that.
Yeah, like an open D or something, and you know, that gig, he was like, we got an encore, which we were always thankful for, and he's like, you want to just riff something in D? And I was like, yeah. And people, they loved it, you know, and that's interesting to think in your mind. You're going, this is a so-so song, or this is a mediocre idea, and then people freak, and you're like, what? And the ones you go into it thinking, dude, there's no way everybody's not gonna love this song. I mean, sometimes you don't even get a clap, you know, and you're like, okay, well, you do that a few times to see if the barometer's the same with different groups, people, and it's like, okay, well then you can kind of move your set list around a little bit. Well, Badlands was the one, actually Isaac put that on his fishing video that he made.
Yeah.
He put it online, and people were like, I love that song. I was like, well, let's just, so we closed with that one under the kind of the, you know, I think we think that it's kind of our biggest, or I don't know, maybe our most motivating song, but we like closing with that one. So far, I think every time we usually save that one for last. And then we have a lot of opening songs that we do in succession at the end as well. So it's kind of just a up-tempo, you know, peak.
Right on.
Yeah.
And so after the album comes out, what are you going to be shooting for as far as shows with that? Are you going to try to
well,
get some non-bar venues in there?
Yeah,
probably?
you know, we've talked locally. It's I kind of feel like it's easier to do one thing at a time as far as like trying to. I don't really want to push too hard to get something locked in before I have a product or, you know, a little bit of stature, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, to me it's more fun doing wherever will pick you up. But depending on what happens with this album, you know, and we'll see who's where, but you know, the possibility of a West Coast tour or bigger is definitely not out of the question. It's just going to be a matter of figuring out some of the details there. It's not an easy thing to coordinate.
Yeah.
And especially if, you know, you plan on having more than one or two guys doing it. So, but that's a ways out. You know, right now I'm just focusing on the songs and the album, and picking up a gig here and there when we can.
Yeah.
Doing the local stuff and getting it out there. The nice thing is, you know, those having the album actually out will be a way to, you know, a nice thing to be able to say, hey, go here, download the album or buy this.
Yeah, exactly.
If you like it, then we can let the demand dictate, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You can have at shows a actual copy people can come pick up.
Yeah, for sure.
Tends to work well at the places I've been in.
Yeah, and you know, I'm always that guy. I'm like, oh, I'll buy that. You know? But so yeah, that's another, you know, perk. Obviously, it's still very, very new. It's infancy.
So if people want to check out some of your stuff right now, what's the best way to take a look at it? Reverb Nation?
Yeah, Reverb Nation / Josh Smith. Facebook, you know, MySpace is on there. You know, some of the songs that I've been kind of careful about putting studio quality stuff on there. There's a couple. But there's always that side of it where it needs to be you to save something for the album.
You gotta.
but